How serious is God about idols? Is God like, you know what? I just wish you didn't have that idol in your life, you naughty boy, naughty girl? Or is it something more than that? Let's take a look at Jeremiah chapter 3. In Jeremiah chapter 3, God says this to the nation of Israel, and it's how he feels about idols. He says, if a man, speaking of God, divorces his wife, speaking of Israel, and she goes from him and becomes another man's wife, another idol, Baal, Asherah, Molech, you name the god, will he return to her? Will the previous husband that she divorced from Molech come back? Will God come back to her? Would not the land be greatly polluted? You have played the whore with many lovers, many idols, many foreign gods. And would you now return to me, declares the Lord? Verse 2, lift up your eyes to the bare heights and see. On the high places is where they would worship these foreign gods. Where have you not been ravished? In other words, taken advantage of by these gods, and that you let yourself be taken advantage of by. By the waysides you have sat awaiting lovers. This is by the side of the road on high places is where they would worship these foreign gods. Like an Arab in the wilderness, you have polluted the land with your vile whoredom. Well, what's been the consequence of this for them? Verse 3, therefore the showers have been withheld. In other words, I haven't given you rain. Your crops aren't growing. You're starving. Your cattle are dying. Bad things are happening, and you don't seem to realize it. You're like, oh, geez. Okay. Do you know what? When you have idols in your life, things begin to fall apart. And usually, the people around you are like, right? And you're like, no, I'm not going to notice that. I'm not going to look at that. I really like this thing. He says, and the spring has not come, yet you have the forehead of a whore. What does that mean? He explains it. You refuse to be ashamed. It's like a lot of times when an idol comes into the life of a Christian, we're the last to recognize it, and we're not even ashamed of it. We tell people about it. We're like, yeah, I got this thing I'm really excited about. And everyone realizes, wow, that thing has taken over your life. And we're not ashamed, but other people are for you. An idol is anything you're trusting in for your satisfaction, your security, other than God. In other words, this thing, if it's not in my life, I will not be okay. I wouldn't give it up for God himself. If God walked in the room and said, you have to give this up, I'd say, is this really God we're talking about? Right? An idol is anything that you look forward to so much that you literally neglect your responsibilities because of it. The things that you know God wants you to do, your family, your responsibilities, and you push them aside because you say, I love this idol so much. Sometimes that idol is inherently sinful, as in something that's just directly opposing God. But more often than that, it's benign. It's like this cup. If this cup became my everything, and I carried it around, and I was like, I gotta have my cup, I gotta have my special cup, and I gotta drink, water from my cup. And it was the only cup I would use, and it became my God. Well, it's still just a cup. It's benign. But if it becomes my idol, I've got a problem. And a lot of things in life are like that for us. God is so serious about idols. He does not want you to have anything in your life that you've placed above him. Anything in your life that you say, you've neglected your real responsibilities because you love this thing so much. Why don't you take a look at your life today and ask yourself honestly, do I have any idols in my life? And I double dog dare you to go one step further. I dare you. Ask a person, maybe one of the closest people to you who you're with proximity-wise more than any other person, and I dare you to ask them that question. Is there anything in my life that you see that might be an idol? I dare you. Well, God's serious about idols. If we're serious about it, then he'll be first. God bless you guys. Have a great day.